If there's any questions though, let me know on the token stuff. So Maxim's got a question. Are all the associated accounts proper accounts, i.e. do they also have a balance, like a Lamport's balance? Yes. So every single account, no matter what it is or what it's for, has those default fields that we saw in the beginning part of the slides right here. Every account has these. Where they start to be different as far as what they're for is just that data field. That's it. So smart contracts, associated token accounts, mints, wallets, all of the above, they have a Lamport's balance, they have an owner, they're marked as executable or not, and they have a rent epic. And they also have data, but in that data is where those things differ. So the data of your wallet is going to be 0. The data of your mint is going to look like this. And the data of your smart contract is going to be the Rust code that you put into bytes. So hopefully that makes sense. Go ahead and ask any other questions, guys. It is a Homer NFT. Yeah, the picture is supposed to be this right here. It's funny that you went and grabbed that. It's supposed to be this picture right here, where you just go ahead and this is, I'll show you guys a little tip here that I do. It's just Homer, but this is a cool way that I go about testing token metadata is if you go to Google and you just search for an image, you go like this. I don't recommend doing this for any productionalized NFTs for copyright purposes, but if you hold command on or control and you do open image and new tab, as long as the URL ends in a file type, which this one doesn't, but you can see this one does, like .png, it'll work. So, and like I said, I put it in GitHub here, and then I just click raw, and it's just the raw JSON, and you can just copy that into your code here, wherever I put that metadata, right here. So that's how I did it with GitHub. Just like a cool way to do like a quick and dirty NFT. It's nothing really crazy. Typically though, this URL is where you'd want to have like a decentralized file store, which you can read more about on Arweave or IPFS. So another question, Maxim, can you explain the thinking process why we don't just store the account balance map inside the data field of the mint account? Why create all of these accounts? Trying to make sure I understand your question correctly. So why don't we store the balance of the token inside of the data for an associated token account? Is that correct? You can say yes in the chat if that's correct. Yeah, if that's your question, the answer is we do. The balance of a token is stored in the data field. The only balance that's not is the Lamports. I see Maxim is typing. That's what I'm waiting for right now. Sorry, guys. But if anybody else has any questions, throw them in. That was everything that I wanted to cover today. Those are all the basics, all the building blocks. With these code references and some of the links and everything we talked about today, it should be good. That should be all good building blocks for you guys to build most of what you want to do with the hackathon. So definitely take a look. You can reach me on Telegram if you have questions. Soul Joe. And then Maxim, I saw you replied. It makes sense to store the account balances inside the original mint account, not create a new account. That wouldn't necessarily work because you'd only be able to store the balance for, like, you'd have to create a new field for each person's balance. Like if you have a token and let's say it's an SPL token you're going to have like 1 million of. Let's say you have 1 million people holding this token. Let's say it's USDC. How are you going to store 1 million people's balances in the mint account? You know what I mean? It's so it can scale. So your associated token account is per wallet. Like it's 1-to-1 with your wallet. And it's 1-to-1 with the mint. So it's a 1-to-1 relationship between both those things. It's basically a bridge connector between your wallet and a mint account to record the balance, you know? So that way, if I mint someone else these tokens, I don't have to update the mint account. I just create them an associated token account. Otherwise, your mint account could end up being huge, you know? it's not possible to get all holders from the token account, right? You have to go through all the transactions. No, that's not true. So I showed you here how, and I teased this a little bit because it's a little complicated to go into in a beginner workshop, but I showed you here how you derive the metadata address. You can use the same function to derive the associated token address. So as long as you have the person's wallet address and the mint address, you can get their associated token account using this hash function. The tricky part is figuring out what your list of wallet addresses is supposed to be, right? Like if I have the mint address for USDC and I want to know how much USDC everybody in this chat has, I need everybody in this chat's wallet address, and then I can figure it out. But if I don't have all your wallet addresses, then there's really no way for me to know. You know what I'm saying? Bingo. Yeah. So no, you don't have to go through transactions unless you don't have wallet addresses. Yeah. Like for example, if you like a wallet, like a Phantom wallet or something like that, it has your address, but it doesn't know what mints you have. So it does go through kind of a expensive function called get program accounts. And basically what it will do is it will run a query against the token program with a filter for your wallet address. And then it will only return all the like token accounts that your wallet has. That's a little bit, that could be a little bit taxing sometimes though, but that's how they work right now. So there's ways to do it. You don't have to go through transactions ever. The way that addresses on Solana are derived are deterministic for the most part, with the exception of key pairs. Key pairs are generated, but anything that's like a program owned account, like a mint or an ATA, that's derived with a hash function like you're seeing right here on screen. And you can use that hash function to your advantage. Is there something that handles kind of like the graph? I don't know too much about the graph, but I think the closest thing you're going to get is the, like what I'm kind of describing of using, you can use get program accounts and you can use derived addresses. And the combination of the two is you can kind of have like a mapping. It's almost like a hash map. So one way to think about it. But like, for example, if you look at this metadata one, like I have the mint, I can get the metadata just by running this calculation, and the program ID is a constant. A lot of data accounts work like this. So you can use similar functionality to get accounts that you don't have the address to, because you can derive the address. So a little bit different than like a graph setup, but it definitely, you don't have to just like iteratively look through everything all the time.